This is my science and math tier list. The criteria is going to be one, practicality, and overall how much it benefits us as humanity. My second criteria is going to be, well, how fun it is and how much cool things you can do with it. First off, chemistry. Chemistry is just describing things and compounds and why those properties are showing in this object. The practicality is that, well, it's a very diverse field, so it's not like that useful if you just know chemistry. For fun stuff, you can just look at pretty much any now read video. He does a lot of really silly, goofy things with chemistry. Overall, it's a pretty solid C tier. Next up, algebra. Algebra is the foundation for any advanced math, and is the foundation for most science fields. Practicality is that for anything beyond basic math, you have to use algebra to do that math. But it's hard to find uses if you just know algebra. And the thing that made me actually realize why algebra is useful is a video about canned soup and the sodium contents. So that's pretty much the only fun thing you can do with it. B tier. Next up, biology. Biology describes like living things and their processes and stuff. For its practical uses, well, we are living things, so biology helps to understand us, and we get to understand animals, which some people are into, but not me. The only really cool thing that I really see coming out from biology is meat grapes, which is a grape, but meat. Overall, C tier. For geometry, it's a very niche field. There's lots of stuff to understand and learn, that tons of like theorems, proofs, and a lot of it's not that useful. The only thing that's kind of useful in later math is the Pythagorean theorem and the trigonomic functions, sine, cosine, and tangent, and SOHCAHTOA. With SOHCAHTOA, you can add physics into games, and a lot of games use geometry and geometric principles to make shortcuts and actually make them work. So that's a fun thing. But overall, it's not that great. C tier. Next up, we have physics. Physics is just predicting how things move. If it exists, it can be described with physics. And the only reason why physics exists is as a tool to describe things. Without it, our modern world would not exist. Cars, houses, bridges, planes, and like any toy, they exist and are helped with physics. So overall, the best is amazing. We got A tier. Next up, calculus. It is the math behind how things change. Practicality is not very good. It's very niche. It's hard to find common uses for, and where calculus does come in use, it's like only useful once. You create an equation, you solve everything, and with those cases, somebody already did it for you, so you don't even have to do any calculus for it. So it's not very practical. You can do fun things with graphs in graphing calculators like Desmos, and you can create a bunch of really strange artworks with Fourier series, like in three blue, one browns videos. But those are very hard to use. Honestly, best is like a B tier. Next up, we have medical science. This honestly just speaks for itself. Without medical science, half of us would not be here. It keeps us alive, and We're not all dead by the age of 30. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. A tier. Astronomy. It's not the most practical, useful science field. Most of the benefits come from it are like when we went to space and like NASA invented a bunch of stuff and we got to use it, such as memory foam, GPS, scratch resistant glass, but not overall too good. But I mean, space is cool, and like if an asteroid comes, then we won't go out like the dinosaurs because we have a space program. B tier. Our next contender, statistics. Statistics is how we deal with and we organize big amounts of data. It's good to, well, organize big amounts of data. So it's great to create new ways to sort data and how to like find fraud in elections and in accounting. It's not the most fun field, but there's some cool graphs, I guess. I mean, it's a really weak B tier. Next up is a really interesting topic, game theory. Contrary to what the channel says, it's not really about the lore about video games, but it's actually the logic of how to play games optimally. For its practicality, it's only really for playing games, but like the games that are optimized by game theory are really simple, boring games, like Prisoner's Dilemma, which is not really a game, or like tic-tac-toe. So you can crush your friends with tic-tac-toe, but it's more of like a way of thinking logically in a game. So it's very loosely connected to like tactics in games, or you could kind of connect it to warfare. Honestly, not that useful. C tier. For our second to last topic, we have topology. Topology is the study of like the surface geometry of objects. It turns the shapes into how basic they can be on a surface level. So, for example, a cube has the same surface as a sphere, and a donut has the same surface as a coffee mug. Practicality, I honestly could not find any examples at all. But like I saw how it's kind of connected to computer networks. There's not a lot of fun things you can do, like in the real world, but like there's a lot of really goofy looking animations. And the coffee mug puzzle is an interesting example of topology. D tier. Finally, we have just normal math. 2 plus 2 equals fish. Everybody, no matter what they do, has benefited by adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing things. If there's a 5-pound slab of meat costs $2.50 a pound, how much does it cost? If I have $100 and I want a pair of shoes that is $50, how much do I have? It keeps the world running, and it's not glamorous, but is definitely the most useful form of math. It is in its own class, S tier. So that's it. That's my tier list. If you don't like it, fight me.